how are we doing? So, vegan. So what? Are watching Milo and Otis in their bedroom, but let me just check and make sure everything's okay. Boys, are you okay? Are you alright? Okay. Okay. So, what is a vegan? What is veganism? One of my new subscribers, M.Brando, number 37. You told me this. You weren't familiar with veganism, so I want to get you familiar with it. I forgot one other thing. Oh, okay, I'll get to it in a second. So, definition of vegan. A person who does not eat animal products. Voila! You're looking at one right here. We come in all shapes and sizes. People think, oh, you go vegan, you eat all healthy, you get all vegans are super healthy. No. You can totally be vegan and eat vegan pizzas and vegan burgers, Beyond Burgers and stuff, which not saying that they're terribly unhealthy, but it's not ideal. Ideally, we need fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds in variety. You don't necessarily have to be raw. Raw is always great and the best and dense source of nutrition and in most cases. So, great. But we don't have to be afraid to do everything we did before and eat the way that we ate before. We just don't eat the dead animals and we don't drink the mammary secretion. Okay, so we switch that out for something like if we want to keep having spaghetti and meatballs, well then we could do spaghetti and broccoli, or we can do spaghetti and garbanzo beans, or we could do spaghetti and plant-based meatballs, Beyond Burger, or Beyond Beef. What is the brand name? Meatballs. Okay. But you can have fun and experiment with other new, like eggplant, things like this, zucchini, okay, instead of putting like a meat on there. For sandwiches, instead of meat, you can do the tofurkey sandwich slices, which are delicious, or you can do avocado and onion and purple cabbage and chia seeds and build up your sandwich with delicious foods, okay? Seriously, you can get avocados for 68 cents even. People talking about expensive avocados. They are not expensive. At least here in the United States, you can get them anywhere from 68 cents to $2.30 for one avocado. So organic avocados sometimes are, $2.30 for one avocado. Yeah, a little pricey. But I switch back and forth. I compromise. I don't like to go outside of organic and non-GMO, but in some cases I do. So, but I never go outside of veganism till the day I die. Until I am worm food, I will be vegan, and that's that. Said and done. So, what is veganism though? Like, what is it? Is it a diet? Is it a lifestyle? Well, it's for me and for most people, from what has been expressed and the definition I'm gathering, it is definitely a lifestyle that branches out into your diet. So, veganism is the practice of abstaining from use of animal products, particularly in diet, and an associated philosophy that rejects the commodity status of animals. A follower of the diet or philosophy is known as a vegan. And vegan was actually the term was coined in 1944 by Donald Watson. Yes, he was an animal rights activist back in 1944. There was also another really neat lady. I can't remember her name now, so that makes it even cooler. But it was back in the 1800s, and I think her last name was Brown. And she was the only woman to get her medical degree without doing any vivisection. And for those who don't know, vivisection is when animals are operated on when they're alive. They're sometimes put under anesthesia so they're awake, but then cut open and things are done to them to look, see, do all kinds of psycho things. So, I don't think anyone can be technically 100% vegan, because when we build roads, when we drive on roads, when we live in a house, when casualties happen, animals are harmed. When we clear out fields to get the wheat, some animals that are down burrowed in the ground don't get to run away. Okay, so there is harm. But the idea is, the philosophy is to keep going in that positive direction and maximize the kindness and minimize the cruelty. And so I am a vegan for this reason. I don't agree with animal abuse. I was a walking, talking contradiction for most of my life. From the time I was young, I was vegetarian for a few years when I was very little, and didn't stay with that, obviously. And I was living in a lie and an illusion, and I was completely cut off from the feelings of the animals. And when I made that connection, I started to make it. I was so ashamed and embarrassed for claiming to be an animal lover and an environmentalist that I ran to the comforts of free range, grass fed, organic, pasture raised, cage free. And I was mind warped by that. I had not made the connection that those labels on those packages were for me. Think about it, okay? Imagine you were an animal that went through slaughter, and let's say your spirit was looking down now, and you see people shopping for the meats and your body parts. You see someone pick up your thigh, bits of muscle and tissue and vein, packaged so neatly, and no bits of fur, nothing. It doesn't look at all like the animal it came from. And imagine seeing the human, reading the labels and saying, wow, grass-fed, free-range, humanely raised, this was a happy animal, and putting it in their cart. Imagine how you would feel. You would say, what? No, I am not happy at all. I smelt the blood and the urine and the fecal matter, and I heard the screaming, and it was all metal and concrete, and people were bashing me over the head, and then my throat was slit, and I was choking on my blood, and, seriously. The animals can't go and read this and feel good about that and say, hey, you know what? Yeah. No, they are voiceless. To us, they have their own language. Pigs, as a matter of fact, have over 80 sounds in their language that convert to words for them. And they have the mental capacity of a 3-year-old child. They are more intelligent than dogs. They are more emotionally complex than dogs. Yet in America, we would never eat a dog. In fact, we make racist jokes about people eating dogs. We point the finger and laugh at everybody, but all the while we're paying for billions of animals to have their throats slit and to be put into packages so we can eat suffrage and pain, give ourselves diabetes, obesity, heart disease, cancer. The list goes on and on. All of these elements that we have are coming from what we're eating. These disgusting acts of murder and rape. All of the animals that we're eating. You want to know what veganism is? It's anti-animal abuse. All these animals we're eating are bred into existence. Human beings are taking the semen from the male animals. Cows, chickens, ducks, horses, pigs, goats, sheep, you name it. They are taking the semen. Artificial insemination technician, an AI, is going and getting this semen, and then they're taking it, they're exploiting the male animals by stimulating their prostate or stimulating their genitals, and we're taking their semen, we're putting our arm up a cow's anus, we're clutching, or any other animal, clutching her cervix, lifting, shoving the needle of bull semen inside. A vet or a farmer is doing this. We wait for her to get pregnant and develop and be full term almost, and then we rip the baby out, or we wait for her to birth it, and maybe she gets to lick her baby clean for a little bit. Maybe the baby suckles just to guarantee that milk drops, so we can take that baby away. And if it's a boy, they will slaughter it within 72 hours on average, and if it's a girl, they'll keep her away from her mother, but close enough by so they can call out to each other and suffer and feel the distance, even though they're so close, they feel miles away. And then when that little baby calf is old enough to become pregnant, then we impregnate her. Now let's look at this. Oh, and then when mama can't produce milk anymore, when her mastitis is taken over, she's slaughtered. And all the beef we're eating right now are slaughtered mother cows, slaughtered exploited baby animals. Okay, we are living in a sick world and we are demented, and that's why I'm vegan, because I decided I didn't want to eat body parts ripped off of animals that did not want to die. I don't want to pay for people to go to work and put on gloves and put on a mask and put on glasses and put on a body tarp covered in rubber boots, so blood can splatter everywhere, fecal matter and pus. I'm vegan so I don't pay for people on the processing line as the body parts are going by to jab them with a knife and let the pus be released, so you don't see the pus and the disease and the disgusting filthy conditions these animals are in. Because if you knew the truth, you wouldn't buy it. And if you're still eating these dead animals and drinking the mammary secretion of another species that is a sex hormone reaction, then you need to wake up now. It's not about anymore. We're past the point of integrating off of it. We're at the point where we watch earthlings. We're at the point where we bear witness and we stop. There is no need, and it is absolutely unnecessary. These animals are injected with B12. These animals are injected with iron. These animals are injected with hormones. These animals are fed GMO, soy, corn, all of it, legumes even, beans, okay? They do get hay, they do get grass, but they're getting all these grains and all these foods that we could be eating. And in fact, the food that we're feeding to these animals could feed 12 to 15 billion people. We're talking about the world twice, and we got 820 people starving right now. Vegan, wake up. This is where it is. This is where it's at. It's for the animals. People ask me what veganism is. It's anti-animal abuse. It's living the way we're supposed to. We were eating grains 1,500 years before any animal agriculture. Our ancestors were holding grains over the flames and eating them. They found grain and charcoal in the tooth fossils. And that glucose in those grains allowed our brains to develop. That was the key to evolution. No, we weren't out hunting animals alongside predators that would wipe us out in a heartbeat. No, we were away from those dangers. We were getting roots, we were getting grains, and we were eating the occasional meat, as scavengers. Hello, no refrigeration, no canning, no method of greenhousing to produce fruits and vegetables year round. Yeah, okay. You know what? I'm not one of those going to say, no, we didn't ever eat any meat. Yeah, we did. When we weren't wearing clothes, when we didn't have underwire bras, when we weren't wearing panties, for God's sakes. Here we are in a world where we are driving through, going in the 7-Eleven. Hey, you want some jerky? Hey, you want some sausage? Oh, do you want some eggs on your sausage? Do you want some bacon with your sausage? Do you want to put bacon on that burger? Oh, how about this? With the cow flesh, melt the cow mammary secretion over it too. Eat. Shove it in your mouth. Shove it in your mouth. Consume. Fossil fuels are burning. Methane is being released into the environment. The rainforest is being devastated. Animals are screaming out for mercy. 8 billion animals every year are screaming out for mercy. They're not going to get it, and they're just babies. Vegan. This is where it's at. This is what we have to do. It's animal liberation time. And, I have fun, I do silly things, and I really genuinely care about everyone, but I'm gonna stand firm and I'm gonna stand up for these animals, and I'm gonna yell if I have to. I'm gonna say whatever I have to say, because I know damn well they would be screaming right now. If they could tell you what they wanted, it would be screaming out at you, begging for mercy. Veganism is the answer. This is why I'm vegan. I'm anti-animal abuse, and you should be too. Now I gotta